The Electronic Entertainment Expo, E3, the biggest gathering of nerds since Comic-Con, has come and gone yet again. The only difference this time is that it was the first E3 worth watching in too many years. I'm not going to go through everything that happened because that would take a very, very long time, but I will share some of the bigger announcements, plus an added bonus on the end that has nothing to do with gaming news. Microsoft kicked it off with their conference that threw so many surprises at us it almost drowned out the rest of the show. The big deal from this and Ubisoft's conference was Splinter Cell Conviction. I really don't understand what the big deal about this game is. They've destroyed the incredibly fun stealth formula that was mastered in Double Agent multiplayer especially, although they haven't showed that yet for Conviction, and replaced it with adaptive stealth. It lets you infiltrate any way you want, which sounds cool, but the stealth in the demo only lasted for all of a minute before Fisher busted through a door, guns blazing. You know, just like every other third-person shooter.
So watch your back. I can't stop him. No one can.
We also finally got to see Alan Wake, a game with a story that takes a page from Stephen King's The Dark Half. If you've never read it, I really encourage you to. It's a great book. Alan Wake stars a writer whose latest book has come to life. It actually looks quite epic. To kill the enemies, you must first weaken them with light, and then shoot them. Pretty basic, but the action sequences were pulse-pounding. Other things we got out of the Microsoft conference were announcements for Crackdown 2, Left 4 Dead 2, and a demo for Modern Warfare 2. The conference ended with Microsoft showing us their new camera system, now named Project Natal. It's two cameras that work in conjunction with each other to sense movement in 3D. After they showed this, they gave us a glimpse at the scariest thing in gaming I've ever seen. Not Silent Hill, not Resident Evil, no. His name is Milo, and he's an AI. A small 6-year-old boy that uses Natal to sense your facial expressions, tone of voice, and emotions to carry out conversation with you. When this thing becomes self-aware and begins to kill us all, I just want everybody to know that I called it. Nintendo's conference was slightly above average for them, but it was still disappointingly boring. They revealed Super Mario Galaxy 2 and a new Metroid game from none other than Team Ninja. They hyped up the Wii Motion Plus a little more by showing Red Steel 2, which admittedly looks pretty cool with a new setting of cowboys with katanas. Other than that, though, there really wasn't too much to get excited about. Sony's conference managed to excite plenty, though. One of the biggest moments was when they brought out 8 of the developers of MAG to form a squad, then showed the faces of the entire 256-player game. This display did a really good job of showing the sheer number of soldiers playing at once.
So now, before we start, I want to remind you that every action you're about to see or hear, from the distant chatter of a machine gun being fired by a developer in Seattle, to an airstrike called in by a tester in San Diego, has been triggered by a real player.
Sony also showed Uncharted 2, which also looked amazing. The demo featured Drake, the star of the first game, running for his life from a helicopter and countless henchmen. The game looked astounding visually, and the new urban setting promises not to disappoint.
I sure hope you know what you're doing.
I don't have the faintest idea.
Sony had other tricks up its sleeves, though. Early in the conference, they announced the PSP Go. This successor to the PSP has a slide-out control panel and is significantly smaller than its predecessor. The PSP Go will run at $250 to start and will feature 16 gigabytes of internal memory. The other new peripheral they announced was the new wand controller. It doesn't have a name at this point, and the design isn't finalized, so the appearance could change, but it works by using a ball at the top of the wand that the PlayStation Eye senses. The wand appears to have a lot of sensitivity in it and will feature the capability of what the Wii Motion Plus aims to do right out of the box. Another big moment for Microsoft was when Bungie had their turn to shine. First, they showed Halo 3 ODST, which has grown into a full-priced, fully featured game now instead of just an expansion. Not only do we get an open world and a revolutionary new storytelling technique, but we also get Firefight, a mode that's similar to Horde from Gears of War 2. 4 ODST troopers face off against endless waves of Covenant, with the game constantly turning on and off different combinations of skulls to make it harder. I don't have time to go through a whole list of my favorite things, so I'll quickly say that if I were going to go through that list, Halo ODST gets my game of show. Before this conference, I was only partially excited for this game, but now I'm hooked. Another announcement from Bungie was the existence of Halo Reach, which falls 2010. The only thing we know about this game is that the buyers of ODST will get access to the multiplayer beta of Halo Reach.
Gamma Station, this is Fermi at RSO. Unconfirmed report of an in-system slit space rupture.
Impossible. Check your source.
Reading multiple pings below the orbital defense grid.
Oh, this can't be happening.
There's no mistake. It's them. Winter contingency has been declared. All units are mobilized and ready.
This is Sierra 320. Prep for combat insertion.
What the hell was that? We're coming in hot. Hold on. We just lost our bird.
Oh my God. What the hell is happening down there?
People down here.
They just dropped off my map.
Overrun. We'll hold this position as long as we can. I need you in that fight, Noble One. Noble One, come in. Noble One, do you read me?
This is Sierra 259. You got Spartans on the ground, sir. We're not going anywhere.
This is only the tip of the iceberg of what was shown at this year's E3. There were also sightings of Tony Hawk's Ride and Assassin's Creed 2, but I don't have time to go into those things in this video. Moving on to more off-topic things, I wanted to share something. About a year ago, I started writing a machinima. If you don't know what that is, then just think Red vs. Blue. Only this was going to be a serious action drama series. Now I'm still writing it, but it is no longer a machinima. I realized that for the degree of depth I wanted to write, I needed facial expressions, hand movement, and the ability to use any object I could think of. None of these video games can do, so I'm writing the series just for the sake of writing it, and if I never get the few $1 million of necessary budget to produce it, that's fine. I'm happy just writing out a story. The thing is, when I started writing the machinima, I managed to make the first scene of the first episode, which has been rewritten several times since then. I figured I'd share this one scene that I've had for a while with you guys. Watch it in this video and then click here to watch it with my commentary on. It's quite unpolished and comes nowhere close to meeting my current production standards, but it's just a concept video, so enjoy. General, I'd like to thank you once again for giving the opportunity to us to sign this treaty. To sign yes, of course. The hell?
Mission successful. End simulation.